Now that our project is all set up, let's open up our code editor, find our app component HTML file. We're going to add in some HTML to create the first card. So like just this one right here by itself. We won't worry about the other two until we've really got this first one put together. So I'm going to open up my code editor. Inside there, I'll find, once again, the app directory. Inside there, I'll find the app component.html file. Remember, this is the file that we change anytime we want to change what the user sees on the screen. So inside of here, we've got a lot of pre-generated styling and HTML. So we will select everything inside and delete it. Now we can replace it with some HTML, very similar to what we were looking at over here on the Bulma documentation page. So again, we're not going to do an exact copy paste of this. We're going to have some stuff that looks very similar. So we're now going to write out a pretty good number of lines of HTML. In total, I think we've got to write out like maybe about 30 or so. So let's just get to it and get this part over with. So again, inside my app component HTML file, at the very top, I'll add in a div with the class of card. Inside there, I'll add in another div with the class of card-image. We're going to close both those divs off right away. Then inside the div with the card image class, I'll add in a figure with the class of image and is-4 by 3. And I'll close off the figure. Then finally, inside of the figure, I'm going to add an image. And for right now, I'm going to leave its source property as empty. So this is going to be the image that gets displayed at the very top of each individual card. We'll figure out where we're going to pull these images from in just a moment. So that's why we're going to leave it as empty for right now. That's all we have to do for the card image div. So after that first inner div right there, I'm going to go down to the right above the closing overall card div, and we'll add in the next big block. So I'm going to put inside of here a div with the class of card-content. I'm going to close off that div. Then inside there, I'm going to add in a div with the class of media-content and close that one off. Inside of there, we'll do a p tag with the class of title and is-4. Close off the p tag, and then inside of here, we're going to put the title of our first card. So the title of our first card from our mockup, over here it had said neat tree. So we're going to put neat tree inside that first paragraph element. So I'll put in neat tree right there. Next up, we'll do the username of the person who posted this thing. So that's going to go into a second paragraph element with a class of subtitle and is-6. I'll close off the paragraph, and then I'll put a username inside of here. So our usernames are going to look like Twitter handles in general. So we're going to have for this first one, @nature. I'll put in @nature. All right, so now the very last thing, outside of the div with media content, so right after that closing element right there, I'm going to add in one more div with the class of content. And inside of here is going to be the actual description of the card and the image. So essentially, whatever's right here. In the mockup, I said, saw awesome tree during my hike today. Sure, we can use that. So I'll say, saw this awesome tree during my hike today. And that should be it. Now, at this point in time, I encourage you to do a quick double check of all the HTML inside this file. Make sure you've got all the appropriate closing elements. Make sure you don't have any titles, specifically around stuff like subtitle right here. That is a word that for some reason my fingers never quite translate correctly into text. Once this all looks good, I'll save the file. I'll flip back over to the application, and we're going to see pretty much nothing. Well, that's interesting. Well, if we look really closely at the very top left, it looks like there's a broken image element right there. So remember, right now, we've got an image element without any source assigned to it. So this is that image. Let me tell you exactly what's going on here. By default, when Bulma shows a card element, or when we use Bulma to style this card element, it's going to apply a unlimited width to it. So right now, our card element is trying to stretch the entire width of the screen. If you actually scroll down a little bit, you'll actually see the rest of the card at the bottom. So there's our title, there's the username, and there's the content. So in order to really make this thing display correctly, we have to do two different things. First off, obviously we need to put in a real image right here. The other thing we have to do is apply a width constraint to the image as well. When I say a width constraint, I really just mean we need to add some custom CSS that's going to try to fix the width of this card to some particular value, like maybe 300 pixels or something like that. That's the next two things we need to tackle to get this thing working correctly. So in the next video, we're going to figure out how to add images into an Angular project. And we're also going to figure out how to add in some custom CSS as well.